I've always been driven by the quest of finding my purpose, my reason. That why provides comfort to that sinking feeling of insignificance, of just being an odd number in the billion. Trying to source the root of this insecurity, I'm taken back to my earliest battle with this question. I was sitting on a reading carpet in my grade 2 class, and Mrs. Saunders, our teacher, asked us, "What is your talent?" Now, at the age of 7, that obviously points to anything that you're good at. But the problem with this question was that it reduced my talent to just one thing, that one thing. And so I've realized all my life that I've always been in search of that one thing that I could be good at, that no one else would be better at. Because that made me feel, it would justify my existence and make me feel enough. So fast forward to varsity. Coming from a relatively small city, there's many opportunities to stand out and be different. But varsity brought me face to face with this fear of insignificance. Because from your student card to the cattle herding process that happens in your first year, you feel very much like a number. And that made me feel like I didn't matter. So I kept on bringing back this question of, what is the point? What's the point of this existence? A friend of mine had been begging me to go to church with her, and I eventually relented. And so on that day, which I think is one of the most significant days of my life, I learned that I have a unique purpose and that I'm called for a reason. But after 16 years, I still don't know what that purpose is and what that reason is. I can't exactly articulate what I'm exactly called for. You see, I've been stuck in the what and not in the who. I recently realized that who is not only the answer, but is much more important than the what. What restricts you to an occupation, a role, or a label? Who frees you up to possibilities? You see, the truth is, the answer to what is your talent and what is your purpose is that you are your talent and you are your purpose, the sum of all your strengths and weaknesses. You are a book of never-ending chapters, each offering a deeper revelation in all the beauty that is laid within you. Your circumstances are merely a catalyst to spur you on to the next. I had unknowingly experienced a mental model shift. And this idea of the mental model shift is my introduction for what I'd like to talk to you about. So my scary-ass entrepreneurial journey started last year when I took a leap of faith and started a business with my siblings. We have a shared desire to rewrite past and existing narratives. We do this through conducting research focused on empowering the creative industry in our country. The fact that we have a united cause should make the journey smooth. However, we come from various diverse disciplines. One is an architect, one is an academic, and one is an accountant/marketer. We use this as our competitive advantage when we pitch for business. My sister, the academic, she calls it a multidisciplinary approach. However, it is the thing that causes the lengthiest of arguments and makes methodology discussions akin to a boxing match. No one is comfortable in our business, no matter how qualified you are, your earning ability, or the depth of your vocabulary. So you see, to solicit potential clients for the company, I kept finding myself in boardrooms or conferences where I had no experience of the topic at hand. And coming from a comfort of commercial expertise, it's quite unnerving. From cosmetic seminars, high-level trade discussions, art seminars, historic dialogues, it was like I'd entered alternate dimensions. And there was this discomfort that I kept on experiencing. So I wanted to share my experience of entering these alternate dimensions. I came across this concept of unlearning, right? And if there's few definitions, it's about basically adopting a new way of doing stuff or discarding bad habits. But Mark Bonchik of Shift Thinking states it aptly when he says, unlearning is not about forgetting. It's about the ability to choose an alternative mental model or paradigm. When we learn, we add skills or knowledge to what we already know. When we unlearn, we step outside the mental model in order to choose a different one, right? Cambridge education, which is common in South Africa, conditions you to become one thing, an accountant, a doctor, or a lawyer, or a scientist. We thus define and measure ourselves through an education system that is designed to make you think and operate in a silo. And even though we shift from corporate or these roles into entrepreneurial position, we still operate within silos. So unlearning is a strength we often shy away from because we think it threatens our own contribution and our own significance. In my country, some people fear being tainted if they engage with others, or their legacies will be wiped out. Some people fear losing their culture, and so we anchor deep in what we need, and who we are, and resolve to move on. But it's all based on fear, this fear of insignificance. My nephew attends an Afrikaans school, and he's a super busy 7-year-old. So he plays rugby, athletics, and soccer. The current setup is that rugby is predominantly played by the white kids, and soccer is a black sport. I sit on those pavilions and I think, what if coaches optimize the performance of a team by mining the talents of athletes from all three codes? Athletics could offer the fastest runners, and soccer players in a rugby team could enhance skillful movement that allows you to dodge a tackle. Instead, the game is stuck in preserving a legacy. And so the white kids play rugby and the black kids play soccer. Nothing changes. So I could only begin to understand the challenges of my clients when I laid down my own need to be heard, my own need for my contribution to be acknowledged. It's the toughest thing because in it lies this fear of a loss of identity or this fear of losing, right? So my latest mental model shift that I'm extremely excited about, and yes, I'm ignoring the timekeeper because I need to get through this, is the collaboration of multidisciplines that disrupts conventional thinking and norms, a process that is only achieved by unlearning and laying down preconceived ideas that we have about disciplines in different industries. So I had the slides up, but the one project that we have back home, which addresses a similar issue that we have in South Africa because of our legacy of apartheid and colonization, is a land pavilion project. And it's basically a partnership between artists, architects, NGOs, entrepreneurs, students, and social activists, right? And what they're trying to address is this lack of civic awareness and participation in issues around land ownership and distribution. So what they do is they stage public exhibitions and debates that are used for research to provide key insight to decision makers. Then in 2016, I was fortunate enough to visit the Revolt Foundation in Chicago, and they basically set up arts projects throughout the south of Chicago to revive economic activity in that area. That initiative is led by Piasta Gates, who's an artist, but he set it up with investment and development bankers, right? Back home, there's a project that I'm extremely excited about because we're part of it, where in an old harbor town, there's a collective of business professionals, arts and heritage practitioners, scientists, and architects that have set up a maritime museum to revive the economy of an old harbor town, right? And so just in conclusion, because I'm sure that at this point the timekeeper is not impressed with me, solutions are not born where the problems exist. It takes an unsiloed network to provide innovative, disruptive, and inclusive solutions. We need to reconfigure the way that we solve our problems by unlearning our silo mentalities, revolting against the silos, and being deliberate in creating unconventional partnerships to solve our challenges. Thank you very much. Sorry.